You are listening to Resilient Life, the podcast where we explore the power of resiliency. I'm Nikita Ross. It is my hope that listening to this podcast will give you the tools to connect with and increase your resiliency. So join me on this adventure of self-discovery and self-love. Morning, Sigga. Thank you so much for joining us on Resilient Life, the podcast where we talk about all things resilience. Can you please tell our listeners your full name and your chosen profession? Anything you want to share about yourself?
Sure. My name is Sigga Oliver. That's not my full government name, but that's what we're going to go with. I've done many things. Right now, I believe I'm retired from an amazing life and career. In corporate America, my last positions were usually, VPs and chiefs of HR and that sort of thing. And before that, I was an attorney because I've gone to law school, and I was a federal prosecutor for the United States government for a while. I was an Army JAG officer. I have fans in Leavenworth. And part of that time when I practiced with the military, half of my career, I was a federal prosecutor, so I was a few good men. And then the other half, I was an administrative and civil law attorney, where I practiced before the EEOC and the MSPB, representing the federal government. And the MSPB is the Merit System Protection Board, so federal employees that, I had to defend the government on accusations or anything that they brought forth. So, and in that, of course, was labor and employment. So, my passion is employment, and those kinds of things, because people are so interesting, and I love the problem solving aspect of it and the helping people be the best versions of themselves. So that excites me. That is my passion. I love it.
Thank you, Sigga. It sounds like even before we get into like the topic of digging deeper into resiliency, it sounds like you have had like a very rich, fulfilling life, and who knows what your next journey is going to be like. Thus far, though, your life has sound like it's been very rich and full, and I'm really excited to hear more about it. So I want to start with asking you, how do you define resilience?
When I saw that question, what popped in my head, I live in a musical, by the way, was the song, "We Fall Down, But We Get Up."
Oh, Hezekiah Walker?
Yeah. We fall down, but we get up, and a lot of my thought patterns and my personality is due to my faith in Jesus Christ. So you're going to get a lot of that today. So buckle up, Buttercup. But that's what I think about, and that's how I define resilience. Every time you get down, you have to get back up. If you fall, the Bible, if you fall 7 times, you get back up 8 times.
Yes.
Just make sure that you get back up.
Yes. I love that. I think I like how your definition is very crisp, very clean, and very succinct and to the point of you fall and you get up, and it's not overly technical. So I like that definition.
Simple.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes simple is the best, for sure. Can you tell me, Sigga, what is the healthiest thing that you've done for yourself?
The healthiest thing that I've done for myself recently, and it's been a process, is I've allowed people to be who they are, and I'm true to myself. And this goes for family members, this goes for friends, or people that I've known the majority of my life. I accept them for who they are, and I am true to myself. Simple.
I like that. Can you tell me, I think that's very important that we do allow people to be who they are, but can you elaborate on a couple of things? One, what got you to the point that you wanted to accept people for who they are, and why is it important to do so? How does it help us maintain our peace? I'm kind of answering the question, but how does it help us maintain our peace?
Let's talk about it.
And everything when we allow others to be who they are?
Yeah, because many times I found myself trying to form people, or even in my head, not even physically trying to do it, but in my head, I had this picture of people, especially the people that I care about, be it a friend, be it a family member. I had this picture in my head that wasn't authentic. It wasn't real. These people were not what I had in my head. And when I would see them do things or behave in a certain way, I'd go tilt. And it caused me distress. They have no idea that this is happening. But I'm like freaking out because why are you not behaving according to what's in my head?
Yeah.
So it just, taking those scales off and going, this is who this person is.
Wow.
And it's okay. It's okay. I love them. And sometimes I will have to love you from afar because that helps my health.
Yes.
Because if you're doing things or you're behaving in ways that are harmful to me, I've got to protect me.
Yes.
And you've been doing it for years. And that's why I've been so crazy. And now that I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Be the best version of yourself you want to be, because I'm good over here.
I have to check and look around and see, are you in my house right now? Because I feel like you just told a little bit of my story.
Wisdom comes to us all. It comes to us all.
Yeah.
In the time that we can accept it. And I had to finally accept that. And my life has been amazingly different.
Yeah. Yeah. Signa, that is one, I want to validate you, to let you know that you're not the only one there's so many of us who have an image, even if we don't realize it, of how others should behave or what they should be doing. And when people don't live up to that image that we've created or this thought process, then we get disappointed, we get frustrated. But then I'm telling you, Signa, you are like just speaking to my soul right now. It is something I'm literally working on and struggling with a little bit, if I'm being honest. And so it's that whole, it's not just it is as simple as the first step is to accept that person for who they are. Okay, this is who that person is. No judgment, right? So we're not judging. I recognize that I accept you, and boundary in you being you. I also have a boundary of your behaviors are not allowed to impact me in a negative way. And so I'm going to have a boundary, and I will accept you from a distance, still have no ill thoughts, ill words, ill intentions towards you. Signa, preach, Signa. Listen.
And some of these people, I have people in my mind that I'm thinking of that I have had to do that with. These people know in the back of their mind, if something goes sideways in their life, I'm coming.
Yes.
And I'm coming as a force. And they're
my
like,
goodness.
She'll be here. She'll be here. Look over your shoulder. Here she comes. You know? But I have to be healthy.
Yes.
I have to do this. No. You can't cross this boundary, or stay over there.
Yes.
Okay. It's okay. Stay over there.
Signa, when I thought about starting this podcast, my goal was to help people who hear the podcast or see the YouTube video, inspire them, help them recognize, one, their resiliency, and two, help them gain tools from hearing guests like yourself speak. I never imagined, and you're actually the second guest who has done this for me, I never imagined that you always say things that were so impactful for me as the host of the podcast. And I'm already like just getting the benefits, for lack of a better word, of interacting and engaging with other human beings about resiliency. So I want to thank you for being transparent, for being honest, for being vulnerable. And that seems to have been the theme that's coming across with my guests. And it's just really helping me grow in speaking with you all. So I want to just take that moment to tell you, thank you for that.
And I
want to ask you,
all do life together. We're all
Yes.
doing life together and we
Yes.
feed on each other. And there's something
Yes.
that came to mind that we may get to that I want to say to you, as well.
Okay.
Or maybe I
Should
say
I?
it now. No, can I say it now?
Yes, you could say it now, Signa.
So because of my faith in God, um, I am very cynical by nature. I'm
Hmm.
naturally a cynic. And he puts people in every area of my life that
Mm.
helps me see through a different lens. And you're one of those people.
Signa, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're that person that helps me go, hold on. Okay, let's look at it differently. And you do that for me.
Thank you, Signa. I appreciate that. You really are you trying to make me cry? I can't ask
No, I'm
questions
not
if I'm
trying to make you
crying.
cry, and I shouldn't cry because I ugly cry. So we're not
I
gonna
don't know
cry.
if there is a pretty
But
cry.
it's true. It's the truth. It's the
I'm a
truth.
little teary-eyed, a little
Yeah,
misty-eyed. So
you're one of those people in the space that we occupy together, and you're the one because that's why I told you I hear your voice in my head sometimes,
thank you,
and
Signa.
you'll go, okay, how are you today? And it's how are you
Mm-hmm.
doing today? You did it this morning. I heard you sigh, Signa. I saw you eye roll. You're so intuitive. And I believe that divinely he gives me people like you to
Signa,
keep
thank
me
you.
balanced, because otherwise I can go dark
Mm,
and he doesn't want me dark.
yeah, yeah. And I love that acknowledgement again, that vulnerability. And thank you, Signa. Thank you so much. And I want to give it back to you and let you know that you are also one of those people. You are so lively. I love I'm gonna say the word, just liveliness. When we're together doing board meetings, I love your comments. I love how you're quick-witted. I love that. And then how you just have kind words. I don't think I've ever heard you. I've heard you be honest, but I don't think I've heard you like be unkind to another human. And I really respect that about you, Signa. I really do. And how you just now sharing your story uh, helped me feel more normal in what I'm going through. And I'm sure will help others. And so that vulnerability, that honesty, Signa, not everyone has that. And I want to thank you for that. What advice would you have for others who are either having difficulty identifying their resiliency or having difficulty like just becoming more resilient? What advice would you have for them?
So the advice I would have, because this is what I've had to do, is go talk to somebody. I
Mm,
know, especially in the African American and other communities, that's taboo. Oh,
yeah.
please go talk to somebody.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so important and it's
Yes.
so helpful to
Yes.
get, to have somebody listen to what's, going on with you and say, hey, maybe look at it this way, or no, you're fine. Do that. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Get help. We're not by ourselves. You can't walk this life alone. You cannot walk this life alone. Now, I also have surrounding me a group of women but when I wasn't in Arizona, I was gone for decades.
Mm,
But I knew this group of women, if I said help across the country or in another country, somebody was coming. And
mm,
they were coming to find me and they were coming to help me. If you
mm,
don't have at least one or two of those people that are authentic, that will tell you you are losing your foolish mind and stop acting up, or I love you more than tacos, they do both. They do both for me. But we've been together for so long that we can almost read each other's thoughts. And like you did so quickly, I don't have a poker face. They can read my face. And they're like, uh-oh. Or they'll be like, everybody move because she has that look on her face. She's about to go
mhm.
to scorched earth and it's not going to be pleasant.
Oh no.
But you need those people in your life. They're also those balancers. They're the people that keep you balanced. They're the people that keep you true to yourself. They're the people that tell you, when you're okay. We don't even have to meet that much. We may meet once, maybe twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was gone for years, but they would, we have a group chat and they'd be like, let's meet on Saturday. And I'd be across the country and I'd jump on a plane and be at the breakfast on Saturday. And they're like, we knew you'd come. But it's just so important to have someone like that. And then the third thing is have a mentor, have somebody that you can go to. It may be, I have a spiritual family that, are not blood family, but they can speak. I have given them permission over the years to speak into my life and to snatch me when I'm acting up and say, Signa, stop. Or they'll say, you're a good person, Signa. Because sometimes I don't think, and you said something about being kind. I desire to always be kind. I want to be kind. Now, I can be very direct
Yes.
and tell you when you're moving too close to a boundary line and there's going to be problems. But I always try to do it in kindness because I've seen myself not be kind, and it's not something I want to convey. It's horrible. It's horrible, and I don't like it, and I try to avoid it as much as I can, because it's unpleasant. It's very unpleasant, and nobody wants to be seen that way. I don't think. I want to be seen, when all is said and done, I want people to say, she was good. She was a good person.
I like that. I think, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Signa. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and one in particular said to me, because I am the person that they say, because I tried to be, soft and fluffy one time, and they're like, that's not who you are. Cut it out. You're real. That's why we have you. You bring us back to, listen, okay, that was real fluffy, but this is what really is happening. And they said, we don't look to you for that. They said, but you love very hard. They said, if we know if you love something, there is nothing that will stop you from protecting, helping, aiding, and comforting somebody you love. And I didn't know that.
Signa, I think that's beautiful. I love that you are learning about yourself. I think part of life is we never stop learning. We shouldn't at least stop learning and growing. And we evolve and we change. And I love to hear that you said you didn't know that. And so I heard a little bit of, I'm okay with that, or I like that. So I like that. And then two, sometimes we confuse directness with rudeness. And so that's what I've said earlier. I've heard you be honest, and probably a better descriptor would be, I've heard you be direct, but I've not heard you be unkind. I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with directness if it is offered in kindness and from a place of pureness or your heart or lovingness. And so I agree with whomever told you, be you, don't stop being you, because I've never seen you not be kind. And so be direct, be Signa Oliver all the way. Be who you are. You are a great person. You are fun to be around. So I love that about yourself. And then I wanted to follow up on one of the things you said. What I heard is very important. And you're actually the second guest to say this. It's very important to have people around you who are going to love you / encourage you and hold you accountable. We don't just want cheerleaders because we can't grow, but we also don't want someone who's going to constantly beat us down because we also can't grow. And so for those who struggle, because we are women of a certain age, and we'll leave that age alone, but it becomes, if we don't already have those relationships, how would you suggest that people develop them, cultivate those relationships around themselves where they have that group of people who, one or two, I think I love that you said that, because you said you have some, and then you said at least have one or two. And I think that realism of it doesn't take a whole bunch. You only need a couple. I love that. And so what would you suggest people who don't necessarily have that or don't feel like they have that? How would they go about developing that or cultivating that?
I'd say look around. There are people there. look around, if you don't have that, and it may be because, you've been burned by people before, give people another chance, the people that deserve to have another chance. Or look around, there may be somebody new, that core group of women that I said would come get me. We've been saying for over 10 years, nobody else can come in this group because we'd have to explain everything to them. We know each other. We've known each other for decades, da, 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 da. But it's been so funny. And each of us have this outside of that core group. I have met, you being one of them, people in the past few years since I've been back in Phoenix that are important to me. And I was very selective in choosing those people that I allowed in. People think that I'm extroverted. I am not.
I'm surprised by that.
Socializing, I flip a switch. And my therapist said, stop calling it peopling because it sounds negative. But socializing is the word we decided on.
Okay.
Socializing is hard for me because it gives me anxiety, because I am good by myself. But
Yes.
I've realized I can't do life by myself.
Wow.
So you have to look around. There are people that you can let in. You're going to have to test it and make sure that they deserve that space in your life. You are the CEO of your life. You hire and fire as you choose, but you have to let somebody in. It doesn't always have to be people that are related to you by blood, because I've said, my mother's been gone 10 years. I've said more in the past year, I want her to come get her children, my siblings, come get them. They're doing a lot. So I think the people that you choose are even more precious because you chose them. Those women, I feel a connectivity to certain people, not everybody, and people think, oh, but you're so fun and stuff. Yeah. If you see the other side, you're like, and you can't love her too, then you're not that person.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't love her too. And I think that, and I'll speak to our relationship, I guess, that we've had over the past year. Your directness, your authenticity, but your perspective is important to me.
I think it's important for us to put ourselves out there. So we wouldn't have met if we both didn't put ourselves out there to run for office. And we have to basically leave our houses. And I think that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, there's someone out there to help build that supportive group, but we can't meet them if we don't leave our house. Do you think, how much importance do you think there is on
Absolutely.
being a part of something?
As an introvert, because my energy comes from recharging at home, so I have to force myself out. I literally have to make decisions, and that group of women will say, they'll, even if they know it's a big event, because they know I've commiserated over it in my head, they know me so much, they like, she is not going to be okay. They will literally talk me into, or as I'm driving to the event, and talk to me and go, it'll be fine once you get there. Once you get there, you're going to flip that switch and you're going to be on. You're going to be Sigga. You'll be fine. Just get there. Just keep going. Because I'll try to think of excuses not to go. It's like, do I really want to leave? God. And then I force myself out. I force myself out. So,
Sigga, I would love for you to tell me something that you are proud of. And I know that could be hard because you have a very accomplished career, just portfolio. But if you were to think over your life thus far, and there will be more things as you continue to grow and do things that you will be proud of. But up until this moment, what do you say that you are the most proud of?
I have amazing children. I have a son and a daughter. They are the only evidence that I was here, and they're good people. And they have their lives. They're both married. They have children. They've graced me with, grandchildren, but they're good people. And I unleashed good people on the earth. That's what I'm most proud of. Nothing else compares. I remember walking behind them. My son was already married. My daughter was engaged, and I fixed her up with her husband. The old ways are the best. But we had been to dinner and we're going to a movie, and I was behind them, and I just felt peace. I was like, and this is what it's all about. If I never do anything else of any, this matters. I was walking behind them and I thought, nothing else matters. This is it. They are my hearts. They are my loves, yeah.
Signa, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can't, that is such like a romantic story that you introduced your daughter, you set them up, your daughter and your son-in-law. That is very romantic, like historically romantic.
Yeah. Even his mother. So his mother and I grew up together. We lived 2 blocks from each other. We've known each other our whole lives. And I saw him at one of the other women's, her daughter was getting married. And I saw him and I showed a picture of my daughter. She was living in Texas at the time. I was like, isn't she pretty? Don't you want to marry her? And he goes, she's gorgeous. And I was like, don't you want to marry her? And, they call us the Ainies. And he's just nodding, like, just nod. It's one of the Ainies, just nod. She won't hurt you. And a year and a half later, they were married.
Stop it.
Yeah. And his mother was like, how did you see that? I was like, oh, you didn't see what she bought to her brother's wedding? That was a no-go. I had to do it. Her chooser was off. I had to choose for her. But he loves my daughter. He loves my daughter. And I love him because he loves my daughter.
I love that.
Yeah.
How do you celebrate yourself, Signa?
That one's hard. And I keep getting asked that, and I have no idea. I have no idea. You're like the 3rd person in the last few months that asked me that, and I still don't have an answer. I don't know.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know. That's what the other 2 said. That's what the other 2 said, because people look at the stuff or what I do. That's not who I am. I don't know. I live in the imposter syndrome. That's something I work on constantly. Because I'm like, how did I get here? Or why are they listening to me? So I am truly honored that you asked me this. When you asked me, I don't know if you saw my face go, what? But this has been good for me, and this has been really good for me. And I appreciate you asking. And I'm thanking you. I loved this interaction.
Thank you, Signa. So thank you, Signa. I think that was a fantastic way to end this episode. I hope this episode gave you some tools to connect with and increase your resiliency. I'm proud of you. Let's keep up the momentum. Follow Resilient Life on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube at Resilient Life Podcast. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others.